Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is within me, bless his holy name.
I'll just be sharing a tiny part of my interview with Father Joseph Iannuzzi here, and it's one of the questions that you submitted before, and it's about whether it is a sin to get tattoo.
Yeah, well, the answer is twofold. Number one, it depends on the tattoo. And number two, why do you want to impress within your skin ink? Is it a sin to do so? I'll give you an example of St. Louis de Montfort, a positive in favor of it and then in favor against it, and a negative one. St. Louis de Montfort was considering having a Sacred Heart tattooed right on his chest. It was a Sacred Heart, I think, and an Immaculate Heart, because he was the greatest Mariologist of the Catholic history, and second to him was Maximilian Kolbe. So would that have been a sin if he got the tattoo in honor of the Immaculate and Sacred Heart in his chest? No, I don't think so. Why? Because he said that he is a slave of Mary, and slaves are branded with the brand of God. Now, somebody may say, okay, that's just a symbolic meaning, but he wanted to make it literal in a good way, promoting the Sacred Immaculate Heart in his own way by putting it on his flesh. Now, everyone makes their own decision in these cases. Now, if it's a tattoo as understood today, then you have to ask yourself the question, what is it? It is honor of my mother. I remember the Marines and the men in the military in the 60s when I grew up. They had on their shoulder, like, I love my mother, and they had a heart, like mom, something like that, in honor of their mother. Then there were other tattoos that had like the devil, the tongue coming out of it, the horns, or a snake, a lizard, and all these weird goblin kind of figures that you see more today than in the past, right? So it's one thing to have a tattoo in honor of fidelity to something that you believe in, your religion, your parents, whatever. Is it a sin to put markings on the body? Not per se, because if you take, for example, women today who wear makeup, that's marking your body with makeup. Some do permanent makeup. I think it's silly. I would never do that. But I'm not a woman, am I? But what does the church teach on this? The church does not teach that it's a sin if the tattoo is noble. They say, how can a tattoo be noble? Like the ones I just mentioned to you, St. Louis de Montfort. But how many people have you seen in the world today walking around with tattoos that promote the faith? I have, actually. If you go, for example, to the southern border by Mexico, the Mexicans have a very strong Catholic faith, and it's imbued in their culture. So they have sometimes tattooed on their chest a rosary. Even I've seen the Virgen de Guadalupe. La Virgen, the Virgin Mary of Guadalupe, is tattooed on their chest or on their back. That's different than a tattoo of, let's say, Baphomet on your neck or something like that. So images should not be immoral on your body or sexually explicit or satanic. These are sinful. These kind of tattoos are sinful because they promote bad vices and they oppose the Christian mores. So one must be mindful that the body is the temple of the Holy Spirit and not should be marked up lightly, but for the glory, but be used solely for the glory of God.